United Nations has labeled the civil war in Yemen the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. Joining me now is Lise Grande, UN resident and humanitarian coordinator for Yemen. She joins us now live from Amman, Jordan. Lisa, thank you for joining us here on the program. The airstrike that happened yesterday is just the latest grisly incident in Yemen to capture the world's attention. What is the overall humanitarian toll on civilians, especially children, in this conflict?
The United Nations characterizes the humanitarian crisis in Yemen as the most severe and the worst in the world. There are 22 million innocent Yemeni civilians who require some form of humanitarian assistance or protection in order to survive. That's 3/4 of the country's entire population. There's no other country in the world where 75% of the population needs help in order to survive. The crisis in Yemen is the direct result of the war. Humanitarians are doing everything we can to support civilians, to give them the help they need. But we can't solve this crisis. Only the belligerents who started the war are the ones who can end it. And that's why humanitarians everywhere are demanding, insisting, begging that the belligerents and parties to the conflict get to the peace table and negotiate an end to the hostilities.
Especially after what happened yesterday, that deadly airstrike that maimed and murdered so many children. Humanitarians around the world are saying enough is enough. So what needs to happen next for peace, for there to be a conflict, an end to the conflict in Yemen?
The United Nations has a special envoy, the exceptional Martin Griffiths, who has been working tirelessly around the clock for months now to bring the belligerents and the parties to the conflict to the table to discuss a way forward, to discuss what has to be done so that hostilities end and peace can break out in Yemen. People can begin to rebuild their lives. The special envoy, Martin Griffiths, has announced that on the 6th of September, peace discussions will begin in Geneva. For humanitarians, this can't happen quickly enough. The human cost of this war is completely unacceptable. What happened yesterday should never happen again.
And before there could be any end to the violence or any brokered peace, what is the United Nations doing now to provide relief and aid to the civilians who are suffering on a daily basis in Yemen?
The humanitarian operation in Yemen is, in fact, the largest in the world. Every month, the UN's World Food Program provides direct food assistance to 7.5 million starving Yemenis. This month in August, the World Food Program will be able to increase the amount of food it's providing to reach 8 million people. 8.5 million civilians are starving in Yemen, and that's why the work that the World Food Program is doing is so important. UNICEF, the World Health Organization, UNFPA, UNHCR, and countless frontline non-governmental organizations are providing every form of assistance, from emergency health care to emergency kits. We're helping to ensure that the water and sanitation systems in the country are operational. We are doing absolutely everything we can. And the frontline humanitarian workers that are doing this work, they are working under some of the most unimaginable conditions in the world. The most difficult, complex conditions are facing humanitarian workers in Yemen right now. What they are doing is heroic.
Yeah, people are suffering. The violence is sickening, and that's why humanitarians all around the world are saying enough is enough. Lise Grande of the United Nations, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Take care.